for our weather classroom doors and answering your questions about the weather. Today's question, and then we have that northern branch that comes down during the wintertime. And that's really our storm paths. They go along where the jet stream is. And so we're really affected through the northern tier by all of these storms. And we've got one today. Now, this one actually is going to break away from the jet stream and just sit and spin. And so it's going to have nowhere to go. And so that's why this will be the story for the rest of the week. We'll see clouds, we'll see showers. It's just going to go on and on and on, because if one of these lows breaks away from the jet stream, there's nothing to push it. And that's exactly what's going to be happening with this scenario. And you'll see the rain, look at this, through Tuesday morning, and it doesn't stop, and it goes south too. So with that said, the potential of flooding exists for us, Ohio, Indiana into Kentucky, and then it's going to be shifting south into the Appalachians.
Michigan coming in with about 2 inches. Just saw a big number out of Ellettsville, Indiana, 3.46 inches of rainfall. So there's been a lot of rain already today, and we are in this pattern where we're going to keep it going with more. All right, so watching out for this rain heavy at times as we continue to track this upper level low. And just think about, you know, sort of the mechanics that are going on here. I think of an upper low or a low in general as a cranking up the moisture, and it's moving from due south to north. So we're bringing Gulf of Mexico moisture all the way up here. That's why we do have the concern for flooding and flash flooding. Cincinnati's in that Lexington up to Dayton, Ohio, in the area that we're likely to see it, but surrounding areas, including over towards Louisville, likely to get into some heavy rain as well. All right, so here today we've got one zone that we've been tracking right now, heading up through about Fort Wayne up into lower Michigan. Watching that for the next, I would say, maybe hour or two, or maybe a little bit more, and then it shifts a little bit to the east. But now we're just going to set up another zone of training rain, moving from south to north. So the concern is if you don't get these bands that set up and move, you're really going to be putting down inches of rainfall, and that's when you run into the risk of some flash flooding. And by the way, we have now, if you're watching the clock at the top of the screen here, we've now fast forwarded into tomorrow morning and afternoon, and it is still raining in this area. Here's Lexington and Louisville, I-64 off and on a mess today. Obviously, it's not going to rain all day as you're seeing here, but there are times where you're going to be in some very torrential rainfall, tough for driving. We'll get a break, but then we get back into it again tomorrow, Steph.
We do. Now we have another